Okay, so today we're going to answer a question which comes up a lot, which is how do you start a photography business, which is something that I have spoken about in the past, but we're going to go through it again. So I'm going to give you some advice based on the way that I started my business, which is to start small as a side hustle. When I started, I just wanted to make some money on the side. And at the time I had a full-time job, but as the business grew, it started to generate enough money so that I could make it my full-time gig. And I would probably recommend that you do the same thing. Starting a photography business whilst you have a job is going to remove a ton of stress off you. It means that you can keep paying your bills and still build your business. Most photographers that want to go professional never actually get there, but that's not because they can't take a good photo. It's because they treat photography like a hobby instead of a business. And if you're watching this, you're probably a decent photographer and you're wondering, how do I actually make money from this? So I'm going to show you what I would do today so that you don't have to spend years figuring it out and making all the mistakes that I made. Okay, so step one is that you've got to pick a lane. What kind of photography are you going to offer? And you might be thinking, I'm going to shoot a little bit of everything. I'm going to do some portraits, I'm going to do some products, maybe some real estate. And that would be a mistake because photographers that do a little bit of everything end up being known for nothing. Most clients are going to hire specialists and not generalists. If you've got a company that's looking for corporate headshots, they're not going to hire someone whose portfolio is made up of some headshots and some sunsets and a little bit of wedding photography. You need to pick a niche and concentrate on that. And it doesn't mean that it has to be like that forever, but when you're first getting started, just pick one thing and focus on that. Out of all of the different types of photography that I've tried in the past, the most consistent repeat businesses for me were headshot photography, product photography, real estate, and events. And those are the ones that I would look at first because you don't need much to get started, but choose the niche that matches what you're already shooting or what you genuinely want to shoot. So here's something that you're not going to hear from a lot of YouTube channels that are obsessed with new gear. You don't need expensive gear to get started. I started with a Canon 5D Mark II, a 50mm lens, and one speed light. That exact combination got me paying clients. Your clients don't care about what you're using. They care about the images that you produce for them. Now, will you need some more gear in the future? Of course you will, but start with what you have. And if you don't have anything yet, buy used. You don't need to go into debt by getting a brand new mirrorless system before you've even made any money. You will need some extra gear at some point, but I guarantee you that you won't know what that gear is until you're actively working. It could be another lens, it could be a heavy-duty tripod, some strobes, maybe some software. That piece of equipment could be the thing that gets you your next client, but you don't want to be in a situation where you can't afford it because you bought something else that's just sitting in your bag not making any money. Everything that you purchase for your business needs to pay for itself and turn a profit. The other thing to remember is that the business itself needs to make enough money to pay for those purchases. Before you can charge full price for your services, you need to have a portfolio. If you don't have one yet, go and do some free shoots or offer some heavily discounted shoots specifically to build your portfolio. Ask your friends, reach out to local businesses, reach out to small companies and explain to them that this will be in exchange for permission to use the images. Do 5 or 6 of those and then choose the best 10 images and you've got yourself a portfolio that you can start working with. Now, something really important when you're building a portfolio is that you want to show only the type of work that you want to be hired for. And if you want to shoot corporate headshots, then your portfolio needs to be full of corporate headshots, not landscapes or wedding photography. And keep your website simple. I use Squarespace, but you can use whatever you want. Just make sure that you have a domain name registered to your website. You don't want to have any of those free websites that won't let you use your domain name. As far as your website goes, keep it simple. You just need a clean gallery and some clear contact details, and that's it. And when it comes to contact details, don't just put in a form that they have to fill in. Make sure to also put a contact number and an email address. Most of my clients end up ringing me rather than sending an email or filling in the form. And whatever you do, do not put a watermark on your images. It's going to make you look like an amateur. So you've got a portfolio, you've got a website, and then you wait for clients to contact you. And you know what? They never come because we haven't done the next step, which is the most important one. You need to start talking to people and you need to tell everyone that you know that you're starting a photography business. Announce it on all of your social media platforms. Message people directly. You need to tell everybody what you're doing because word of mouth is still the most reliable source of clients. Reach out directly to local businesses. Look for a small business in your area with bad photography. If you're going to be doing product photography, look for business with bad product photography. If you're going to be doing headshots, then look for businesses in your area with bad headshots and then email them directly. You should also set up a free Google business profile so that when someone in your area searches for the type of photography that you do, you want your business to appear. And once you land your first client, make sure to deliver work that makes them want to tell other people about you. Referrals are free and they're the best type of marketing that you can have. Undercharging is one of the most common mistakes that photographers make, and it's not just bad for you, but it's also bad for the industry. Do some research to find out what other photographers in your area charge for the same type of work, and then price yourself at the lower end of that range just while you're building your business. But don't go to the bottom of the market, because charging too little can not only be associated with low quality, but typically that's where you're going to find the most difficult clients. So here's a simple way to think about pricing. Add up all of your gear costs, software subscriptions, and anything else that's an expense in the business, as well as your time. And don't forget that your time also needs to include editing. Make sure that your price covers all of those things and still leaves you with a profit. And if it doesn't, you need to raise your prices. And never quote a price without knowing exactly what the client needs. You always need to scope the job first before you can provide a price. Okay, so step 6 is just some business basics that if you take care of in the beginning, then you are going to avoid a ton of pain. Okay, so number 1 is contracts. Get a signed agreement before every shoot. It doesn't have to be complicated, just something simple that covers what you're shooting, when you're going to deliver the images, how many images the client will receive, and then what happens if something changes. Without a contract, you have no protection. Number 2, if you're dealing directly with a company, then take 50% up front. This confirms that the booking is real and it covers your time if the client cancels. Number 3 is to use a professional image delivery platform. If you're going to be doing something like family photography, then maybe something like Shootproof or some other kind of gallery. If, however, you're going to be doing commercial work for a business or a company, then maybe something like WeTransfer will work better. Whatever you use, make sure that it's branded with your name and logo so that it looks professional and doesn't have some sort of generic branding. So that's it. Pick a niche, sort out your gear without going broke, build a portfolio, go and get some clients instead of waiting for them to come to you, price yourself properly, and run your photography business like a business. And what I found is that the photographers who make it aren't always the best photographers. They're the ones that treat photography like a real business. And if you found this video useful, then don't forget to give the video a like and also consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And if you've got any questions about anything that I covered here today, just leave them in the comment section below, because I do my best to read and answer as many comments as I can. But that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.